There's so much conversation about women's basketball, conversation on should Caitlin be on the U.S. women's national team. You were part of the selection group.
A lot of players I've already had the opportunity to play in this league that are just so good. And
who would have ever saw this coming? It's not like we've been stamping our feet as fans, whether you're a new fan of women's basketball or an older fan of women's basketball, begging Team USA not to make this horrific mistake. And here they are, not only making the horrific mistake, but they're paying for it and they're apologizing for it. So before we get to the content, we are about 14,000 subscribers away from getting to 1 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications to help us get to that goal. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It's crazy how much this was debated over the past month and a half. Do you guys remember Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt getting into it in regards to whether or not Caitlin Clark deserves to be on Team USA?
What about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
And Stephen A. Smith eventually got to a point that I very much agreed with when he told Andrea Carter that you should be more aware of the marketing aspect of sports.
I strongly suggest you rethink such positions. It's how you get paid. You are going to be underpaid for the rest of what I believe will be an illustrious career unless you get your mind right about that marketing.
But I will not sacrifice my basketball knowledge and my integrity in terms of the game for marketing. My marketing is doing just fine.
And although I don't think he necessarily conveyed his point in the best way, I do agree with Stephen A. Smith. You don't need a business degree or even a marketing major or even to go to college to know that Caitlin Clark brings viewers. If Caitlin Clark is bringing viewers, then putting her on the Team USA women's basketball team, which is watched globally, would only help women's basketball thrive. But for some reason, she was not included. I'm sure at this point you guys are sick of this clip that I'm going to show you, but it conveys the fact that Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird were very much against Caitlin Clark exploding on the scene in the very beginning.
Look, SVP, reality is coming. There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, you know, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
On top of that, there was a theory that Cheryl Reeve had something against Caitlin Clark. When the Minnesota Lynx went up against the Indiana Fever, you could just tell based off of her demeanor, she's not the biggest Caitlin Clark fan.
It's all around the league. But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side. I mean,
I'll get two.
How about one?
Not even one.
And this was further validated by the fact that Caitlin Clark stared down at Cheryl Reeve as the Indiana Fever defeated the Minnesota Lynx on the road. But if you guys remember, the original reason why Caitlin Clark wasn't allowed on Team USA's basketball team was quote unquote because they didn't want her fans to be upset at her lack of playing time. Bear that in mind. Keep that in mind for a second. But the real reason was clearly the older players of the WNBA are just trying to guard the plate as much as they can, and they don't want her to succeed. This is despite Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, and Breanna Stewart playing for Team USA before they've ever even played a single WNBA game in their career. So all three of these players have done what Caitlin Clark was trying to do, but regardless, Caitlin Clark took it with class.
excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, you know, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so yeah, it'll be fun to watch them. And then we all know how talented that team is. Like, you look at that roster, and a lot of players I've already had the opportunity to play in this league that are just so good. And I know they're going to go out there and dominate, and I'm going to be watching and cheering for them. So.
And the Olympics started. To be honest, the reaction to Team USA's basketball team was as we expected. And I want you to know, this is specifically for Team USA's women's basketball team. Because check this out. A few days ago, Team USA faced off against Japan. Now, I want to give you some attendance numbers in regards to each country's women's basketball game. So, Spain faced off against China, and they drew the largest crowd with 27,021. Then it was Nigeria versus Australia with 24,023. Then Germany versus Belgium and France versus Canada had similar attendance numbers at 20,211. And then USA versus Japan had 13,040 live viewers. That's over 8,000 below the average attendance over the first couple of days. That's how bad Team USA is doing in terms of attendance. It gets even more comical here. There was a fan that came out and wrote on a piece of notebook paper, "You need Caitlin Clark to beat us." And to be honest, I don't think they need Caitlin Clark to beat them, but I do think they need Caitlin Clark for people to actually watch them. And it's hilarious because someone got some footage of the women reacting to the sign, and at least they took it pretty well, except Brittany Griner. Pops over there isn't really paying any attention to it. Now, I know what you guys are going to be saying. Mike, Team USA was able to defeat Japan. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it just goes to show how far the women in the WNBA went in order to make sure Caitlin Clark would not join the team. And it's truly insane. Remember when I said that the excuse for Caitlin Clark not playing on Team USA was because they didn't want her fans to be upset about her lack of playing time? Team USA went 4 of 20 from beyond the arc. This caused Caitlin Clark to go viral on social media despite her not playing. It's truly insane. Now, again, Team USA was able to defeat Japan 102-76, but there's no question about it that Team USA would have definitely used Caitlin Clark here. And the fact that she was excluded is so unnecessary. And you're even seeing Dawn Staley, a member of the USA Women's National Team Selection Committee, regret her decision.
Caitlin is just a rookie in the WNBA. If we had to do it all over again, the way that she's playing, she would be in really high consideration of making the team.
Look, man, I know it seems like I appear on this channel and constantly berate women's basketball, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. If you guys remember about 2.5 years ago, yeah, I was berating women's basketball, and the reason I was because they just didn't seem to understand the business aspect of it. You had Kelsey Plum saying stuff like this.
In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players. You know, if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
In the WNBA, that's not the case. We are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, because despite her league being completely subsidized, the WNBA is losing $50 million in revenue this year, despite them having one of their most successful seasons to date. Why? Because they're investing in the product, because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, people actually care about the WNBA now. You need to leverage this as much as you can to get as many people interested in the product as humanly possible. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. You're supposed to give the audience what they want. And I guess I'm a little bit more sensitive on this YouTube channel because a huge indicator of what I bring to you guys on this YouTube channel is based upon the viewership of the previous content. If I uploaded this video and it got 20,000 views, I wouldn't think, oh my God, I'm falling off. I would think, okay, my viewers don't care about this topic. I got to bring them a different topic. That topic does very well. If it gets like 200,000 views or 300,000 views, I'll think, okay, my audience cares about this topic. I need to bring them more content that is similar to this topic. And this applies for each and every aspect of a business. You're supposed to give people what they want. That's the very fundamental rule of business. And the fact that Team USA had this golden opportunity to boost the popularity of a sport that was ridiculed over the past 2 decades, they decided against it because of pettiness, just makes me feel like this league is doomed to fail, and I don't want it to fail. For the brief moments that we've covered the WNBA, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark rivalry, Kennedy Carter for some reason attacking Caitlin Clark, that has been very entertaining. And I hate to say this, and I hope it's not taken in the wrong way, but women bring a certain element of drama to the game of basketball that men just simply can't match, which could potentially make it as entertaining entertaining or a different type of entertaining than the NBA could ever be. Or maybe I'm just a little bit of a drama queen. I'll let you guys decide for me in the comment section down below. At the end of the day, I want this product to succeed. It's not going to succeed if people don't get their heads together and realize that they have a golden opportunity to leverage Caitlin Clark's prime in order to get more viewership across the globe. They missed their opportunity during the Olympic Games this year. Hopefully she's as popular 4 years from now. For all you know, the ship could sail 4 years from now. Hopefully not, because I personally enjoyed watching Caitlin Clark dominate in the WNBA and rewrite record books. And I hope she's doing it for a very, very long time because the WNBA needs her. But at the end of the day, this isn't something that we weren't expecting. We knew that Team USA was going to dominate the competition. Congratulations, you're probably going to get another gold medal, but no one's going to care. And at the end of the day, it's your own pettiness to blame. But let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.